Have you ever wondered what truly makes for a happy and fulfilling life as you age? Imagine reaching your 80s and beyond without the regrets of not living fully, or the fears of becoming a burden to your loved ones. In this video, we explore the profound insights shared by a centenarian and a leading geriatric psychiatry expert, revealing the secrets to overcoming the challenges of aging and embracing joy in your later years. Stay with us until the end to discover life-changing strategies that can help you live happily and healthily well into your 100s. Don't miss out on transforming your perspective on aging and unlocking the keys to a truly joyful old age. And if you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me. And if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. The constant obsession with living a long, healthy life can be downright exhausting. We're bombarded every day with messages telling us to eat the right foods, avoid certain habits, exercise religiously, and get regular medical checkups. It's as if we're being told that unless we follow a strict regimen, we'll be doomed to a short, unhealthy life. But here's the question that keeps nagging at me: is all this worry and restriction the key to a happy life beyond 80 years old? The truth is, I've started to feel like this obsession is causing more stress than happiness. How many of us know someone who restricts themselves so much, avoiding foods they love, skipping the occasional drink, or quitting smoking just to add a few more years to their life? And for what? To live longer but be miserable? What if I told you that one of the most respected authorities in geriatric psychiatry, someone who has spent over 30 years studying and working with the elderly, says that after 80, we should let go of all these restrictions? It might sound crazy at first, but it's true. This expert with decades of experience suggests that once you hit 80, you can and should start living life on your terms. If you want to eat your favorite foods, eat them. If you enjoy the occasional glass of wine, drink it. If you love to smoke, go ahead and savor that cigarette. He insists that indulging in these pleasures, rather than constantly restraining yourself, is a key part of enjoying life in your later years. You might be thinking, isn't this terrible advice? Aren't these things bad for our health? But here's the kicker: this advice comes from a seasoned professional who has dedicated his life to understanding the psychology of aging, and he believes that the pressure we put on ourselves to live long and healthy lives might be doing more harm than good. Now, let's unpack this a little more. This expert argues that the very obsession with staying healthy, this relentless pursuit of perfection, if you will, can become a heavy burden. It's a burden that weighs us down, filling us with guilt and stress. Every time we indulge in something we're told is bad for us, we feel a pang of guilt, a sense that we're sabotaging our future. But what's the point of living longer if those extra years are filled with anxiety, restrictions, and a lack of joy? It's a bitter irony, isn't it? We spend so much time worrying about the future that we forget to enjoy the present, deny ourselves the simple pleasures of life in the name of longevity, but at what cost? This expert even goes as far as to say that diseases like cancer, which so many of us fear, should be accepted as a natural part of aging. Now think about that for a moment. Rather than constantly trying to avoid the inevitable, what if we simply accepted it with grace? There's a certain peace that comes with that acceptance. The truth is, no matter how much we try to prolong life, aging and illness are natural processes that come with the territory of growing old. And instead of living in fear of them, we could learn to make peace with these realities. Now, if you're in your 80s or approaching that milestone, the message is clear. There's no need to keep stressing over your health. You've made it this far, haven't you? You've worked hard, raised families, faced challenges, and now it's time to live for yourself. It's time to let go of the excessive restraints, the constant doctor's visits, and the strict diets. You've earned the right to enjoy life. Imagine what it would feel like to wake up and focus on what makes you happy, rather than what might extend your life by a few more years. Wouldn't that be liberating? To live your 80s, 90s, and beyond in a state of joy and freedom, unburdened by the pressures of society. This is the key to living the happiest 20 years of your life. And it's a message that I think many of us need to hear, whether we're approaching 80 or just thinking about our futures. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment one below to let me know that you are still here with me. So where does this wisdom come from? It's rooted in the teachings of Hideki Wada, a leading figure in geriatric psychiatry, whose book, The Wall of 80, has become a bestseller since its release in 2022. It's especially popular among those in their 50s and 60s as they prepare for their aging process or take care of elderly parents. What's fascinating about this book is that it challenges everything we thought we knew about aging. Many people who have read it have had a sort of aha moment, realizing that what they thought was helping their aging parents might have been harming them instead. For those of us who thought we were doing everything right, taking our parents to regular doctor's visits, making sure they follow strict diets, and keeping them active, this can be a hard pill to swallow. But it's also eye-opening, offering a fresh perspective on what it means to age well and live happily in our later years. The book breaks down the concept of aging into 4 major walls that we must overcome to live joyfully beyond 80. The first wall is the overdependence on doctors, medications, and hospitals. How often do we see elderly people spending countless hours at the doctor's office, popping pill after pill, in the hope that these medical interventions will prolong their lives? But does this lead to happiness, or does it create a cycle of fear and dependency? The second wall is the process of aging itself, something none of us can escape. Our bodies will change, our minds may slow, and our independence might wane, but fighting against this reality only causes frustration. And the third wall is the fear of dementia and cognitive decline, which understandably scares many of us. But this too, according to Wada, should be faced with acceptance rather than constant fear. And finally, the fourth wall is simply the fear of being over 80, the idea that life beyond 80 is a decline into irrelevance. But what if we could change that narrative? What if life after 80 could be a time of joy, wisdom, and contentment, rather than fear and restriction? We all dream of living life to the fullest, right up until our final days. We want to be independent, happy, and surrounded by loved ones. But the reality is that aging comes with challenges. The period in which we can live without help, what's known as our healthy lifespan, averages around 72 years for men and 75 for women. After that, most of us will need some level of assistance, and that's okay. It's part of the natural course of life. What matters most is how we approach this stage of life, with fear and restriction, or with joy and freedom. So as we journey through this discussion, I want you to think about what truly makes life worth living. Is it the number of years you add to your life, or the quality of those years? Let's explore how we can overcome the walls of aging together. Stay with me until the end, because what you learn today could not only transform your own life, but also the lives of those you care for. Life doesn't end at 80. It's just the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with wisdom, peace, and the freedom to live on your terms. Let's make those years count. The average lifespan in our country is now an impressive 81 years for men and 87 years for women. On the surface, these numbers seem like a testament to the advancements in healthcare and our growing ability to live longer. But when we dig a little deeper, we realize that while men live about 9 years and women about 12 years beyond their healthy lifespan, this extra time often comes with a cost, relying on the care of others. The truth is that living longer isn't always synonymous with living better. As the average lifespan increases, so too does the time spent battling illness or needing help with basic daily tasks. To truly enjoy a happy life in your later years, the goal isn't just to live long, it's to live long while staying healthy and vibrant, without illness weighing you down. Think about this. The most common ages of death are now 85 for men and 90 for women. And while many do live even longer than this, the years spent past our healthy lifespan can present significant challenges. Hearing these statistics, what comes to your mind? What do you feel? The 80s are not like the 70s, they are an entirely different phase of life, one where change is often sudden and unpredictable. Even if you are fortunate enough to be in good health today, tomorrow could bring unforeseen challenges. This isn't said to discourage or dishearten you, but rather to encourage reflection on what truly matters for a satisfying life. Would you rather choose to live a happy old age, filled with peace and contentment, or an unhappy one filled with regret and struggle? Consider this: in Japan, the most aging country in the world, there are now over 90,000 people who are more than 100 years old. In our own country, the population of centenarians has also surged past 10,000, and stories of people reaching 100 years or more are becoming more common. But here's the important thing to remember. Not everyone naturally reaches 90 or 100 years old, and even those who do don't necessarily enjoy a life that is both healthy and happy. Longevity on its own does not guarantee a fulfilling life. The reality is that life after 80 is profoundly different from life in your 70s. It's a time when the body's limits start to become clear, and things that were possible yesterday might become impossible today. This is a time when fluctuating health conditions become more common, and life-threatening diseases like cancer, strokes, heart attacks, and pneumonia start to feel like looming threats. You might even find yourself doubting your memory or mental sharpness, wondering if dementia is creeping in. With all of this uncertainty, it's easy to lose confidence in your own body and mind. And if that weren't enough, the emotional toll of losing a spouse or close friend can lead to feelings of profound loneliness or even despair. It can feel like you're standing at the edge of a giant wall, the overwhelming wall of life, aging, sickness, and death, crashing down on you like an unrelenting wave. But despite how daunting it all sounds, there is hope. There is a way to navigate through these turbulent waters, a hint at overcoming these massive walls. And that hint lies right in front of us. The key to facing the challenges of aging is acceptance. It's about embracing the changes that come with age and finding joy in what you can still do today. Instead of focusing on what you've lost or can no longer do, shift your perspective toward valuing what you can still do and what you still have in your life. This mindset shift is incredibly powerful. Happiness, after all, is deeply personal and subjective. It's not based on how old you are or what your body can or can't do. It's about how you perceive your situation. For instance, some people spend their days lamenting the things they can no longer do because of age, constantly feeling frustrated by their limitations. But others choose to embrace the positive, focusing on the things they can still enjoy, like spending time with family, cherishing the simple pleasures in life, or watching their grandchildren grow. Which of these perspectives do you think leads to greater happiness? The truth is, after turning 80, most people have some form of cancer in their bodies. And that's a startling fact. But it's also a reminder that illness is often inevitable with age. What matters is how you respond to it. Will you spend your days in fear, letting illness steal your peace of mind? Or will you embrace each day as a gift, finding moments of joy even in the face of adversity? In the end, aging isn't something to fear. It's a natural part of life. And it's something that everyone experiences. The real challenge is learning how to age gracefully and live well, even when the future is uncertain. By accepting aging and cherishing what you still have, you can make these later years some of the most meaningful and rewarding of your life. The choice is yours. Will you choose a mindset of gratitude, focusing on the blessings of today? Or will you allow fear and regret to shape your old age? If we can shift our mindset, valuing what we have instead of mourning what we don't, we can unlock the secret to a truly happy old age. And that, I believe, is the most important lesson of all. In reality, many people live with serious diseases without even knowing it. This fact can seem surprising, even unsettling, but it's a truth that Dr. Hideki Wada, a seasoned expert who has spent many years working in geriatric specialty hospitals, discovered through his research. Dr. Wada performed dissections on the remains of around 100 elderly individuals and found something truly astonishing. A large number of these people had been living with serious diseases, such as cancer, yet had died from other, unrelated illnesses. The cancers, in many cases, remained unnoticed and undiagnosed. What does this tell us? It reveals that many of the diseases we fear most, including cancer, can exist in our bodies without significantly impacting our daily lives, especially in old age. Cancer, which we often think of as an immediate death sentence, was found in almost every single individual over the age of 85 that Dr. Wada examined. In other words, by the time you reach 80, you likely have cancer somewhere in your body, whether you know it or not. But here's the remarkable thing: most of these people didn't even realize they had it. They lived their lives and passed away from other causes, while the cancer remained a silent passenger in their bodies. We've all been taught that cancer is a terrifying and deadly disease that requires early detection and immediate, aggressive treatment. And yes, for many people, especially the younger and middle-aged, that's true. But as we age, things change. Dr. Wada's research, and other studies like it, suggest that some cancers in the elderly progress so slowly that they don't cause significant harm or interfere with daily life. Many people live with cancer for years without ever knowing it's there. It's not uncommon for older individuals to have cancers that remain dormant or progress at such a slow rate that they don't require treatment. This is why Dr. Wada firmly believes that once you've passed the age of 80, aggressive cancer treatments such as surgery or chemotherapy may be unnecessary and even harmful. Imagine being 80 years old, finding out you have cancer, and being told that there's no need to worry, that you can live your life just as you have been. It's a radical idea, especially in a society that often equates a cancer diagnosis with immediate action. But Dr. Wada's approach is refreshingly different. He argues that unless the cancer is causing severe pain or affecting basic functions like eating, there's no need for drastic intervention. Surgery, particularly for someone in their 80s, can be more dangerous than the cancer itself. For those who are elderly and physically weaker, the stress of surgery or chemotherapy can take a far greater toll on the body than the disease ever could. So why not simply observe rather than intervene? This brings up an important question. If cancer is something that most of us will likely live with by the time we're 80, how should we approach it? Dr. Wada's answer is simple yet profound. After turning 80, live joyfully without unnecessary restrictions. Many people spend their final decades worrying about preventing cancer, avoiding their favorite foods, refraining from drinking alcohol, or giving up smoking in a desperate attempt to stay healthy. But the truth is, if you're over 80, there's a very good chance you already have cancer in your body. So, what's the point of depriving yourself of the things that bring you joy? If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment below to let me know that you are still here with me. Think about it. Why continue to restrict yourself, avoiding that delicious meal, that glass of wine, or that cigarette, when it may not even make a difference? For someone over 80, living a life filled with excessive restraint, stress, and worry isn't just unnecessary, it can do more harm than good. Dr. Wada suggests that allowing yourself to enjoy the pleasures of life, whether it's food, drink, or anything else, can reduce stress, improve your quality of life, and even help boost your immune system. Living joyfully, with fewer restrictions, can slow the progression of diseases like cancer. Too many elderly individuals are overly cautious about their diet, worrying about consuming too much salt, sugar, or fat. They reduce their food intake, skip the dessert, and avoid greasy foods in the belief that they're protecting their health. After all, we've all been taught that obesity is dangerous and that excessive salt, sugar, and fat are enemies of a healthy life. But here's the thing: if you're over 80, the rules change. Your body's needs change. The desire to eat certain foods, especially salty ones, isn't just a random craving. It can be a signal that your body is telling you what it needs. As people age, their organ functions decline, and with that comes a change in appetite. For instance, elderly individuals often crave more salt. Why? Because as we age, our kidneys begin to lose their ability to conserve sodium. The kidneys, which are responsible for regulating salt levels in the body, start to excrete more salt than they should, leading to a deficiency. And when the body is low on salt, it naturally craves salty foods. This isn't something to be feared or avoided, it's simply the body's way of balancing itself. Salt is essential to life. It plays a crucial role in everything from regulating blood pressure to maintaining proper nerve and muscle function. Without enough salt, elderly individuals can experience a range of problems, from weakness and confusion to more serious health issues. So when an 80-year-old reaches for that extra pinch of salt, it might be their body's way of saying, "I need this." The same principle applies to other foods and cravings. As you age, your body's ability to process certain nutrients changes and your appetite adjusts accordingly. What was once considered unhealthy in younger years may be beneficial as you age. Instead of fighting these cravings or viewing them as indulgences, it's important to listen to your body and understand that it's communicating its needs differently. Ultimately, the message here is one of balance and acceptance. As you move into your 80s and beyond, the focus should shift from fighting aging to embracing it. Living joyfully, without unnecessary restraint, can lead to a longer, healthier, happier life. It's about finding the balance between health and happiness, about enjoying the simple pleasures of life without feeling guilty or fearful. Because at the end of the day, isn't that what we all want? To live fully, joyfully, and without regrets, no matter how many years we have left. As we grow older, the progression of certain diseases, like cancer, tends to slow down significantly, making it less of an immediate threat in many cases. This means that instead of obsessively trying to prevent illness through restrictive diets or giving up life's pleasures, you can improve your health and happiness by doing what you love, enjoying your favorite foods, embracing the moments that bring you joy, and living life fully. It's not just about surviving, it's about truly living. Next, let's address another condition that many people fear: dementia and cognitive impairment. This condition is something that often worries individuals as they age. But why does cognitive impairment occur? The answer is simple. It's a natural consequence of aging. Cognitive decline, especially after turning 80, generally progresses at a slow rate. The reality is that symptoms of cognitive impairment can begin to develop as early as 20 years before they're noticeable, but most people don't even realize it until much later. Once symptoms of cognitive decline appear, they continue to progress, and unfortunately, there is no fundamental treatment to stop it. By the time most people are 85, nearly all will have some degree of Alzheimer's-type brain degeneration. But it's important to understand that cognitive impairment isn't necessarily a disease in the traditional sense. It's more of an aging phenomenon, like wrinkles on your skin, the loss of muscle strength, or the graying of your hair. It's a natural process that comes with age. Let's look at the numbers. In your 60s, only about 1 to 2% of people show symptoms of cognitive impairment. But by the time you reach your 70s, this number starts to increase. In the early 70s, it rises to around 3 to 4%, and by the late 70s, about 10% of people will experience cognitive decline. And once you hit your 80s, the percentage jumps significantly. Over 20% of people in their early 80s show signs of cognitive impairment. And after that, the percentages rise even more sharply. By the late 80s, around 40% of people experience cognitive decline. By age 90, it's 60%. And by 95, about 80% of individuals show some form of cognitive impairment. These numbers may sound discouraging, but they carry an important message you must live for today. Focusing too much on the question of how much longer do I have can trap you in a monotonous, unchanging daily routine, which can actually slow down your brain's activity and lead to cognitive decline more quickly. On the other hand, actively engaging in new activities or doing the things you love can stimulate your brain and help prevent the onset of cognitive impairment. So instead of worrying about what's to come, it's crucial to immerse yourself in the present and embrace the joy of today. We often hear about the so-called centenarian era, which paints a positive picture of living long, vibrant lives. But sometimes, the idea of living past 80 can feel like more of a burden than a blessing. There's a societal pressure to live longer, but with that pressure often comes worry. Many elderly people feel obligated to give up the things they love, restricting their diets, forcing themselves to exercise when their bodies are no longer capable, avoiding pleasures like smoking or drinking because they believe it's necessary to maintain their health. Some even refrain from pursuing their desires in favor of their children's needs, continuing to take medications that offer little to no benefit just to prolong their lives. However, once you reach 80, All of these self-imposed restraints and efforts to extend life are often unnecessary, and in many cases they can do more harm than good. What might have been beneficial for your health in your 60s or 70s, such as strict dietary restrictions or heavy exercise, may no longer be appropriate in your 80s. At this stage in life, continuing to place such heavy burdens on yourself can lead to stress, which shortens lifespan rather than extending it. It's crucial to recognize that by the time you reach 80, you've lived a long, full life. You've worked hard, you've faced challenges, and now it's time to focus on your happiness. From here on, life should be about finding joy in the little things and living in a way that brings you peace. In clinical practice, Dr. Hideki Wada came to an important realization. Medical books and academic research don't always provide the answers because they can't capture the unique experiences of each patient. Every individual is a living textbook filled with their own personal stories, struggles, and triumphs. Each of us is the protagonist of our own life's drama. Life's misfortunes or unhappiness, which can lead to mental and physical ailments, can strike anyone at any time. And because of this, Dr. Wada believes that life after 80 should be seen, not as a time to impose more restraints and burdens, but as a personal journey toward finding joy and satisfaction. Ultimately, life after 80 should not be about simply surviving, it should be about thriving in whatever way is most meaningful to you. It's a time to let go of excessive worries about health, to stop depriving yourself of the things you love, and to focus on doing what brings you happiness. Whether that means indulging in your favorite foods, taking time to relax, or spending more time with loved ones, the key to a fulfilling old age lies in living for yourself and finding peace in the present. The message is clear. After all you've been through in life, from your 80s onward, it's time to shift your focus to living for your joy, rather than constantly striving to meet society's expectations. It's time to write the next chapter of your story on your terms. Around 2,200 years ago, the first emperor to unify China, Qin Shi Huang, rose to unparalleled power, wealth, and influence. Yet, despite his conquests, his vast empire, and the absolute control he held over his people, there was one thing he desperately wanted that eluded him immortal life. Qin Shi Huang was willing to sacrifice everything to achieve this dream, to defy the natural course of life and conquer death itself. He sought every possible means, searching for elixirs and remedies that could grant him eternal life. Tragically, it was this obsession that ultimately led to his demise. Ironically, he died after consuming an elixir believed to contain mercury, which, rather than granting him immortality, ended his life. This ancient story of Qin Shi Huang teaches us a profound lesson. Even someone who had unified the world and commanded unrivaled power could not maintain composure when faced with the inevitable realities of aging and death. This fear of aging and death, which even a tyrant could not escape, is something that we, ordinary people, also experience. We constantly worry about growing older and fear the day when death will come knocking at our door. But it's not just us. Throughout history, even the most powerful and wealthy individuals, like Steve Jobs, who revolutionized the world with Apple, and Kim Il-sung, who ruled North Korea with an iron grip, all eventually succumbed to death. No amount of wealth, influence, or control could save them from this universal truth. Even Lee Kun-hee, the chairman of the Samsung Group, who was once a symbol of success and power, spent his final years bedridden before passing away. These figures, who lived larger-than-life existences, still met the same fate as everyone else. So who envies those who lived and died gloriously? In my experiences with elderly individuals, I've learned that there is a different kind of wisdom that emerges with age. And among those who have found happiness in their old age, there are two important lessons that stand out. The first is to avoid relying too much on medication. As we've discussed before, once people reach 85 and beyond, their bodies often carry various diseases. By the time most people hit 80, cancer is likely present in their bodies, even if they don't show any symptoms. It's common for elderly individuals to feel discomfort from time to time, and when this happens, many of them go to the hospital, where routine exams are conducted and medications are prescribed. This process is often seen as standard medical care, but is it truly the best approach? The author questions this mindset and invites us to reconsider. While medication can be necessary in some cases, it's not always the right answer. I've seen this in my own family. My parents would insist on stronger medications every time they went to the hospital, regardless of whether the medicine was helping or not. Just taking pills gave them a sense of security, a feeling that they were doing something to protect their health. But the reality is that too much medication can place an unnecessary burden on the body, and in the end, it can do more harm than good. When it comes to medical treatment, especially for the elderly, there often comes a point where you face two clear choices: continue seeking treatment in the hopes of extending life, or stop the aggressive medical interventions and focus on living out the remaining time doing what you love. And this is not a decision that a doctor can or should make. It's a deeply personal choice that only the patient can decide. I'll never forget the story of a grandmother who was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in her early 70s. She began treatment, but the process was incredibly difficult, both for her and for her family, who had to witness her suffering. Eventually, she made the brave decision to stop treatment, telling her family that the physical and emotional toll was too great for her to bear. Her family honored her wishes, and they brought her home. After that, her expression completely changed. She was more relaxed and more at peace, and her family saw her spirit return. She spent her final days in the comfort of her own home, surrounded by those she loved. Just a month later, she passed away peacefully, but not without having experienced a sense of tranquility in her final days. Well, moments like these remind us that we never know when or how difficult choices will arise, but they will come, and we must be prepared to face them. If your parents are elderly, having open, honest conversations about these choices in advance can be a gift. That it can be better to prepare for the inevitable by discussing their wishes for their final moments. Would they prefer to rest comfortably at home, engaging in meaningful conversations with family, feeling the warmth and presence of their loved ones, rather than spending their last days in the sterile environment of hospital bed, surrounded by strangers and disconnected from the people who matter most to them? These conversations can be difficult, but they are essential. It's about giving our loved ones the dignity of choice, ensuring they have the opportunity to spend their remaining time in a way that brings them peace and comfort. The truth is, life after 80 should not be about struggling to survive through endless medical procedures or clinging to a sense of security through medication. Instead, it should be about finding joy in the present moment, embracing what truly matters, and allowing ourselves to let go of the fear of death. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. So what can we take from the stories of Qin Shi Huang, Steve Jobs, or Lee Kun-hee? It's that no matter how much power, wealth, or influence you have, death is the great equalizer, and the key to a fulfilled life is not found in attempting to outrun. Instead, it's found in accepting the natural course of life, focusing on the moments that bring us joy, and cherishing the people we love. Second, it's crucial to keep moving consistently. Just because you can walk easily and without pain today doesn't mean you'll be able to walk the same way a year from now. Our bodies change rapidly as we age, and if we become inactive, those changes can sneak up on us and severely limit our mobility. The truth is, if you stop using your muscles and your body's remaining abilities, they weaken faster than you realize. I've seen this firsthand with someone I know after turning 80. They slowly stopped doing the activities they once enjoyed, simply because they didn't feel the need to continue. By the time they reached 82 and 83, they became significantly weaker. Some of this was due to illness or injury, but much of it was because they had simply stayed at home without any real reason and stopped moving altogether. Over time, they lost the strength to even do simple tasks. If you let go of the things you can still do, you'll quickly find yourself with a body that can't do anything at all. And how unfortunate would that be? Life doesn't come with a perfect roadmap or guarantees. There are 3 fundamental truths about life and the world around us. First, there are no correct answers. Second, there are no true secrets. And third, nothing in life is free. Everything requires effort, time, or sacrifice. And just as there are lessons about life, there are 3 things everyone should understand about death. First, death is inevitable. Everyone will die, with no exceptions. Second, death is something we face alone, no matter how many people surround us. Third, we can't take anything with us when we go. All the possessions we accumulated, all the wealth we built, stays behind. But there are also three unknowns when it comes to death. You don't know when you'll die, where you'll die, or how you'll die. That uncertainty is part of the human condition, and it's something we must all reckon with. Since we can't predict or control death, the only real choice we have is to live in a state of readiness, to live fully and with purpose every single day. While we all similarly enter this world, crying as newborns the way we leave this world is vastly different for each of us. Some pass peacefully, surrounded by loved ones. Others tragically face more difficult and isolated circumstances. In many ways, how a person dies leaves a lasting impression that can define how they're remembered. It's often said that human legacy is determined more by how you die than by how you were born. For when I came into this world, I cried, and everyone around me smiled. But when I leave this world, I hope those around me will cry with regret, while I leave with a smile, content in the knowledge that I lived life to the fullest. That, to me, is the essence of a life well lived. Now, as we move into an era where living to 100, 120, or even 130 is becoming a realistic possibility, the focus shouldn't just be on extending life for the sake of longevity. What's far more important is the quality of those years living without illness, maintaining our health, and finding happiness every single day. Living long without health and joy is not truly living. There are 7 ways you can bring more happiness into your everyday life, practices that you can start implementing right now to enrich your life. Keep moving. Physical activity, even in small amounts, is essential. Whether it's a walk around the neighborhood, gentle stretching, or simply staying active in your daily tasks, movement keeps your body and mind engaged. 2. Cherish your relationships. Family, friends, and loved ones are the true treasures in life. Nurturing those connections brings fulfillment and joy that material things cannot provide. 3. Find a passion or hobby. Engaging in something that excites you, whether it's reading, painting, gardening, or even learning new things, stimulates your brain and keeps your spirit alive. 4. Embrace change. Life is full of changes, especially as we age. Learning to adapt and accept these changes with grace, rather than resisting them, can make your journey much smoother. 5. Laugh often. Laughter is a natural stress reliever and can bring lightness to even the heaviest of situations. It's a simple yet profound way to lift your mood and improve your overall well-being. 6. Practice gratitude. Take time each day to reflect on what you're thankful for. It shifts your focus away from what you lack and toward the abundance that already exists in your life. 7. Live for today. Don't put off the things that make you happy. Whether it's calling a friend, enjoying a favorite meal, or taking time to relax. Embrace the present moment fully. At the end of the day, a fulfilling life isn't about chasing after more time, it's about making the most of the time we have. By focusing on these small but meaningful actions, you can ensure that you're not just adding years to your life, but adding life to your years. First, wake up feeling refreshed. One of the foundations of happiness is how you start your day, and a good night's rest is essential. To feel energized and ready to embrace the day, ensure you're getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night. Your body and mind need this time to recharge. And if you ever feel tired during the day, don't hesitate to take a short nap. It's not just a luxury, but a way to boost your energy and mood. Rest is key to making your waking hours more productive and joyful. Second, express love. If life has made you weary or you become disconnected from your emotions, start by rediscovering love. Expressing love doesn't need to be grand or complicated. Start simply. Tell your spouse, children, or close friends that you care about them. It can be as easy as greeting them with warmth and affection. The beautiful thing about love is that the more you express it, the more it grows. And when you surround yourself with people who love you in return, they'll bring you even greater happiness and comfort. Love has a way of amplifying joy, and sharing it with others only makes it more profound. Third, set goals. No matter how small, having goals gives your life direction and purpose. It's not always about achieving massive successes. Sometimes it's about those small, everyday victories that make life meaningful. Set goals that are within reach Take a 30-minute walk each day. Treat yourself to a meal out once a week. Attend church once a month, or start a new hobby. Each time you reach one of these small milestones, you'll feel a sense of accomplishment that enriches your life. For these goals not only give you something to look forward to, but also remind you of your ability to grow and thrive. Fourth, don't overdo it. Life can be demanding, but it's important to know your limits. Don't burden yourself with too much or try to meet everyone else's expectations at the expense of your peace. But if someone asks more of you than you can comfortably get, okay to smile and say, "That's a bit too much for me to handle on my right now." Set boundaries that allow you to maintain your energy and joy. It's about preserving your well-being without feeling overwhelmed. Fifth, treat yourself. Learn to indulge in small rewards. Sometimes we forget to show ourselves appreciation, but it's vital to treat ourselves kindly. It could be as simple as buying your favorite treat, taking time out for a relaxing activity, or doing something you love. And when you give gifts to others, do so with a generous spirit. There's an incredible joy in giving, and what you offer to others often comes back to you in even greater ways. Rewarding yourself and sharing joy with others create a cycle of happiness that enriches your life. Sixth, be generous. Empathy is one of the greatest gifts we can offer. When others around you are struggling, take the time to truly listen and empathize with their worries and sorrows. However, be mindful of protecting your emotional well-being. While it's important to offer support, you don't need to carry the weight of others' sorrows on your shoulders. To be generous in spirit, but also remember to maintain a healthy balance. Generosity without self-care can lead to burnout, so keep both in check. Seventh, don't forget to play. As we grow older, we often forget the simple joy of play. Laughter and lightheartedness are essential to a happy life, and play isn't just for children. Especially with your spouse or loved ones, playing together, whether it's through games, activities, or shared hobbies, can relieve stress and rekindle laughter. It's a way to reconnect with the joy of life, no matter how tough the world outside may seem. And don't underestimate the power of love in all its forms. The love you share with those close to you gives you great hope, and that hope provides the strength to overcome life's challenges. In the end, love is what makes the journey worthwhile, and it fuels the resilience to keep going even when things get hard. These 7 practices are simple but powerful. Incorporate them into your daily life, and you'll find that happiness isn't something distant or elusive. It's something you can create day by day through love, play, self-care, and meaningful connections with others. Time flows like a river toward the sea, and every day we're carried further along toward our final destination. Each of us is on this journey, moving forward, and the real question we need to ask ourselves is, are we living in alignment with our true selves? Or are we letting the current sweep us away, clinging to others' expectations, missing the precious moments we could be sharing with family and friends? Life is too short to live by someone else's script. Take a moment to reflect. Are you living each day with intention, or are you letting time slip through your fingers? There's a great power in gratitude. When you learn to appreciate what you have, to accept life as it is, you unlock the key to happiness. The truth is, happiness isn't some far-off destination that you have to work tirelessly to reach. It's not something that will come someday in the future. It's here now within you. Happiness resides in your heart at this very moment. Life is happening all around you, and the opportunities to feel joy are not somewhere else, they're right in front of you. The people, the experiences, the small blessings, they're here, and all you need to do is recognize them. Once you reach your 80s, so many things seem to change. The body doesn't move like it used to, and the world around you feels different. But instead of viewing these changes with fear or frustration, try to see them as natural parts of life's flow. After all, these changes are not unique to you. Every generation before us, and every generation after, will experience them too. There's comfort in knowing that these are universal experiences, shared by all who live long enough. So remember these moments well, for they may help others in the future who find themselves in the same place. One of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves is to shift our mindset. Rather than fearing the inevitable physical changes that come with age, embrace them. See them as signs of a life well lived, as natural progressions. And if you've worked hard your whole life, from your 80s onward, Living for your joy is the wisest decision you can make. You've earned it. Focus on the present moment. There's no need to carry the weight of the past or worry endlessly about the future. The power to create a life without regrets lies in how you choose to live today. You shake off any lingering negative emotions. Release the baggage that no longer serves you and concentrate on what's right in front of you. And by doing so, you'll create a life filled with happiness and contentment. But above all else, after turning 80, it's time to love yourself more than ever before. Do what makes you happy, indulge in your desires, laugh often, and fill your days with joy. The laughter and joy are more than just moments of pleasure. They are the real secrets to maintaining health and vitality as you age. Picture the kind of old age you want for yourself. How do you want to spend the last chapter of your life? How will you fill it with meaning, with purpose, with joy? The beauty of life is that you're still the author of your own story. Even in your later years, you have the power to decide what this chapter will look like. I hope today's reflection has provided some small insight or guidance in helping you create a happier, more fulfilling old age. And before we end, I want to share a brief but powerful story about life's regrets. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 4 below to let me know that you are still here with me. A 95-year-old grandfather once shared his greatest regret. When I was young, I worked incredibly hard. I received recognition and respect, and I was able to retire proudly at the age of 65. At the time, I thought I had accomplished everything I set out to do in life. But on my 100th birthday, I shed countless tears of regret. 30 years had passed since I retired, and I realized that my life from ages 65 to 100 had been filled with sadness, not because of illness or loss, but because I had lived those 30 years simply waiting to die. I believed that once I retired, there was nothing more for me to do, that those years were just extra time. If only I had known then what I know now, that I still had 30 years ahead of me, I would have lived them differently. I would have started something new and pursued passions I had left behind. I thought it was too late to start anything new once I got older, but that was a terrible mistake. I'm still here, my mind is sharp, and now, even though I'm 95, I've decided to start learning something new, something I've always wanted to do. I don't want to reach my 105th birthday with the regret of never having started. This story reminds us all that it's never too late to start living. Whether you're 80, 90, or even 95, you still have the power to shape your future, begin new adventures, and chase dreams you thought were out of reach. Don't fall into the trap of thinking your best years are behind you. Your life, your joy, your fulfillment, it all exists in the choices you make today. So go forward with courage, love yourself, and embrace the journey ahead. As we come to the end of this reflection, I want to leave you with a question. What have you learned today? Have these stories and insights changed the way you view aging, happiness, or living fully in the present? Please take a moment to reflect and share with us. Comment below on one thing you've learned today and how you plan to bring it into practice in your life. Whether it's embracing joy in your later years, expressing more love, or realizing it's never too late to start something new, we'd love to hear how these ideas resonate with you. If you like this video, please leave your comment below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to hearing your thoughts.